Hello. El gallo.
That's a good one.
Hello. This is your host, Itza from It's a Party.
And this is your host, Sule from Sule's Bakery.
And welcome back to
Built from Scratch
Podcast. Oh my God. It's been long overdue.
It's been a while.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time.
I don't even know what to say, but okay, let's cut to the chase.
No, it's been a long time since the last video. We've tried recording
Several
a few
times.
but we're now more cozy in our little spa with our new equipment. And today we want to dedicate this episode so that you guys learn a little bit more about
Us.
your host. Last video we talked about why we started and how we started the podcast. And I think before we even jump into any guest videos, maybe we should talk a little bit about ourselves so that our audience or people, followers, whatever,
Get to know
what
us
are we
a
going to
little bit
call
more.
them? We need to call them something.
Our little builders.
Our scratchies.
Our scratchers? No, our builders.
Our builders. So our audience can know about us, who we are. We came up with a little list of questions so that you guys learn about
Our
each
personal.
other.
Our personal and business life.
Yes.
Just a little intro of ourselves, but here we go. You want to start?
I'll
start.
start.
Yes. You're the fun one, I feel.
No, you are the fucking weird, funny one. You start. I want to know, like, why you became a baker. And I don't know, just like why. Like, why, when,
How?
how.
Okay, so I started first when I was in 2020, actually. It was when COVID was at its finest moments. I wanted to do a business for myself, and I was like, what can I do? So I started just scrolling through a lot of stuff because initially I wanted to be a medical assistant. And I was just like, oh, maybe this could work. And then especially like during COVID, I felt like a lot of people needed help, you know? So then I was just like, do I really want to become a medical assistant? So then I started looking into it, and man, it was expensive. So I'm just like, no, you know what? I'm not ready to commit to that. Like if I'm not 100% sure. So then I just started looking on Instagram, and a whole bunch of cake decorating stuff, reels started popping out on TikTok and on Instagram. So I was just like, okay, I can give this a try.
But did you ever did you like it before trying it, or you just did it just because?
Just because,
Okay.
like I would bake cupcakes, but like the cupcakes were right from the box,
Okay.
and I would use already like pre-made frosting, like the little cans. Little tubes that they sell at the store, like that was the frosting I would use, and it was like so sweet. And so I just started, and I was just like, you know what? I told my husband, I was like, you know what? I want to do something for myself. So I had a $75 gift card from Amazon, and I bought the basics out of there, and like the turning table, piping tips, piping bags, and like the scrapers. And that's how I started. My first cake was actually a 2-tiered cake, which was pretty crazy of me because I did not know how those tiered worked. Like I just thought you just stacked one cake.
Yeah.
Like just one cake on top of the other. And then all of a sudden it just started sinking.
You didn't use those sticks
No supports, no. Nothing, not even like the little base in between.
Yeah.
Because obviously if you use the sticks and you still stick the cake on top, it's still going to
It'll sink
sink.
because the weight, right?
Because of the weight. So like not even the board that goes in between the later layers. Like nothing. So I was just like, wow. I saw that it started to sink, and I was just like, oh my gosh. This looks funny. And it came out pretty good. It tasted pretty good for it to be like my actual first cake from scratch.
Yeah.
I did a lot of research on Instagram, on TikTok, and like put up a whole bunch of recipes together and just mixed everything and threw it in the oven. And that was a cake. But it was pretty funny because even though it tasted good, it did not look good because it was so funny. Like I decorated and like the little swirls, the little piping swirls.
You didn't know how to pipe yet?
I didn't know how to pipe yet. So it looked like little pieces of poop.
The poop emoji?
Yeah. And then because it was chocolate. So it was like...
Ew.
It was so funny, but it was good. And then my cousin's birthday came up and I made a cake for her. And since no one knew I made that cake, I saw their true reaction to
When they
to
ate
the
it?
taste, to like what they thought when they ate it. And everyone was like, "Oh wow, this is so good!" and started asking me where I bought it because they saw me walking with the cake. And I told them, "Oh, I made it," and everyone's eyes just like...
So was that like when you're
grew.
like, okay, I can do this?
Everyone's eyes grew. They're like, "No shit! Like you really made this?" I'm like, "Yeah." "Oh, it's so good," and I was all happy. And that's where I decided that date was gonna be my anniversary because like
What's that date?
A March 7th.
March 7th. And then after that, like, did you just went ahead and opened up like Instagram or what was the first step you took?
I
Like, what
opened Instagram.
Is that okay?
I opened Instagram. I created my name. I'm like Sule's Bakery. I don't know. That was like the first name that came up to my mind. I was just like, oh, I like it. Sule's Bakery. And I did the Instagram. And then from there, like I just started uploading pictures. And obviously I didn't have a lot of followers because since I was new to Colorado, like I was born in Denver, moved to Mexico when I was 11. So then I moved back to California when I moved in with my husband 2 years later. I moved over to Colorado, which was in 2018.
So you didn't have
So I didn't have no one.
friends.
I didn't have no one. Like even after 2 years, like after living here, I had my old middle school, elementary friends. But I mean, the communication wasn't like it was before.
You didn't have a lot of...
But like they were the first people I added, and they added me back, and that's...
Do you
where,
remember
like,
your very first client after opening your...
Yeah,
You do?
yeah, but I don't think I have them on Instagram because it was because a cousin used to work at a restaurant and he's the one that got me that client.
Okay.
And so I created my Instagram. I started creating cakes. I would bake cakes every day, every time. Because I was like playing with recipes and like trying to create my portfolio. So then when I felt ready, like, okay, I feel like I'm ready to get out there, I did a giveaway.
Okay.
And
I feel like giveaways always get people, right?
like before that giveaway, so I started March and then of 2020, October of 2020, that's when I did the giveaway. But prior to that, I would maybe get like one order per month.
Oh, wow.
And just because I would post my stuff on Facebook Market and people would kind of like reach out to me.
Yeah.
So I was just like, okay, I'm ready to get out there. And I just did my giveaway. I obviously like sent it to my friends that were around here. Luckily, they shared it. And you know,
is that how you grew a little
that's
bit?
how I started to grow. They shared it. People kept sharing it and adding and
That's cool.
following me and all of that. And I was just like, okay. After that, my sales went up.
That's good.
So every time someone asks me, how did you do it? What did you do? What can I do? That's the advice I give them. Because a few weeks ago, I had a treat maker from Castle Rock reach out to me. It's asking me for advice. And, you know, of course, I don't like gatekeeping. I told her, you know what? Do giveaways.
Yeah.
Start with the giveaway, even if
Who
it's
doesn't
small.
like free stuff?
I'm like, even if it's small, like your friends are gonna see it. Your friends' friends are gonna see it, and they're gonna share it, and they're gonna want it, and that's how you're gonna start getting out there.
Yeah.
And when I did that giveaway, dude, my sales went from being one cake
A month
to one cake a week.
Oh, wow.
So now I was doing like around 4 cakes a month. And eventually It just kept growing and growing and growing. And now sometimes I even have up to like 9 cakes a week.
And I feel like also growing in the business of like bakers, like, you know how you guys do like those, I don't know, like those connecting events where there's a lot of bakers and you guys like
networks.
Like networks, yeah, but for bakers, right? Because I feel like those always help, like meeting, like how you met like the other bakers, and then, because I feel like if you can't book them, I mean, obviously there's someone you refer to, no? Like,
Yeah.
So that's how I feel like if you become friends with other bakers, like I'm sure they'll send some people your way too, because
Yeah, and I've had a lot of bakers ask me like, "Are you available for this weekend? And can you do the design?" And I'm like, "Yeah, send them my way," or vice versa, where I know my friend bakers and I know what they're capable of.
yeah,
So I'm like, okay, she has this, she has that. Like,
yeah.
it's
I mean,
all.
it's like you can't always, as much as you want to keep all the customers and like book them all, like
It's impossible.
you can't make all the cakes every weekend.
Yeah, like I said, I went from 1 cake a month to 4 a month to like 9 a week.
Wow.
And it's not because I'm cheap, you know. I feel like I'm at a pretty good price range.
How long did it take you to like realize? Because I feel like when everybody starts a business, obviously our prices are cheap because you want to get that booking. But then there comes a time when you're like, all right, like enough. Like I'm pretty much booking to give it away because you're not making any profit because you're just covering for like the ingredients and you know you're not even paying yourself for labor.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to realize actually, like be like, all right, like I gotta.
think I'd say about a year and a half maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I did start freaking small cake. Well, not even small. It was like my 6-inch. That was like my $50 cake back in 2020.
Wow.
So I would see my work, and I would be like, you know what? I think that's a good price. Like that's a good cake price for now. Then prices started going up, and I just started getting more practice.
Started going up.
I started getting even more practice, and I was just like, you know what? My work is worth more now.
Yeah.
So that's how like my prices increased, also due to ingredients rising, but it was like it was a whole journey where right now I see bakers that are pretty damn good at what they do, and I'm pretty sure their cakes are really good too. But their prices are so freaking low.
I feel like
And
when
that affects
in every,
us.
in every industry, I was gonna say that it affects you, because for the people that have been in business longer, you get the hang of it now. You know the prices. You know what you can be charging, and then the new era, like the new wave of bakers or whatever industry it is, comes in, and then they wanna get the booking, so they charge way less. And then that makes when customers are like kind of shopping around, they're like, but this person can make it for cheaper. But it's like, oh yeah, but it's not gonna be the same.
Yeah, and I have told several bakers where I have asked them like, girl, not to be nosy or anything, but how much are you charging for this? They give me their price. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, you need to charge more. I'm like, not because I want you to charge the same as me. It's like you don't have the same experience as me, but your work is fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
So it's worth it. If I can charge what I charge and your work is also good, like you can charge more for what you're charging.
Yeah.
And I feel people do feel pretty intimidated with like when it comes to cost because of the fear that they're like, I'm not gonna book. And I learned that the hard way.
So did I.
Initially I started in Denver, and we moved up north, which is an hour from Denver. We moved up to Greeley, and I wanted to lower my prices because out here in Greeley, people wouldn't want to pay over $100 for a cake.
Nope.
And I was just like, not even the freaking ingredients or the profit is going to be good for me. So I was just like, I struggled a lot where I wanted to lower my prices. And my husband was like, no, how are you going to lower your prices? Why are you going to sell cheaper cakes up here and sell them more expensive
Over
in
there?
Denver? So he's like, you got to keep your prices. So I did. I hardly have clients up in Greeley, but all of my clients are in Denver area. And, you know, even though I have to make the drive or meet them halfway, I love to do it.
Yeah. So how long have you been in business for? Since 2020? So
4 years.
4 years.
Next year, 5.
Wow.
In April. In March.
Almost here. 5 years. Do you see yourself like doing this for like another 5 years?
I do. Yeah. Especially I see myself like with the shop. So that's how bad I want to keep going.
Like a walking shop where like people can just buy already like the cakes or place their orders there?
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Something cute and simple, and to host little workshops or stuff like that. But
that's cool.
I see myself going out there, especially now because I've gotten several opportunities. Actually, today I'm delivering a cake for an influencer here in Colorado. And Too Faced Cosmetics reached out to me to order that cake and take it to her. What? Because today is National Cake Day.
Yay! I think there's like national days for everything, right? We need to start doing that.
Yeah.
So today's National Cake Day.
Today's National Cake Day. And I'm pretty excited for that because, I mean, that's huge. When you hear Too Faced Cosmetics, if you know about cosmetics, makeup, you're like, oh, Too Faced.
Yeah.
I recently...
When she told me, I was like, what? It's like, that is big.
I recently did a cake for Sabrina Carpenter too. When she came here to Colorado.
A rato ya no nos va a hablar Sule.
She was here and they reached out to me to order a cake for her. It was a burning cake. And I did a reel. I did everything. It's all on my Instagram, so you guys can go check that out. I was featured in a magazine, an actual magazine.
And it was like a baker's. Or was it Baker's Magazine?
It was like the top bakers of Colorado.
25 top bakers of Colorado.
That is so cool. I got featured in that too. And along with other bakers. I mean... I feel that now being almost 5 years in the business, I have achieved so many great things. Imagine what 5 years more
from now, yeah,
it's gonna happen. Like, I can't wait to see what happens.
That's awesome.
But yeah, that's a little story of how I started, what has happened, what's going on. And I mean, there's always gonna be advice and questions about the baking industry. So hopefully along the episodes we can like continue to talk more and more about things, because I mean, it's us too. We're both in different industries, and there's a whole bunch of things we can talk about.
Yeah, and tips and things like that. We don't. What do you say?
We don't gatekeep. Gatekeep.
Yeah.
So yeah, what about you? You do balloons. How is that going for you?
It's going really good. I've been doing balloons. I don't want to say like I do balloons, because I don't do just balloons, you know. I've been doing events.
And you're getting more into like party planning, aren't you?
That's exciting. I feel like the vendor list keeps growing and growing. So like now it's like, oh, you got it all. Like you could do it all. Which eventually that's what I want. Like, but I've been doing, the very first party I did was my daughter's 2nd birthday party. And that was very special. So I always like thank her for getting me into like, I guess, this type of business. I did her 2nd birthday party, and I just had a vision for it. And I just knew that I needed to like make it happen, you know, because I couldn't find anything at the store. So I did everything. It was wacky, but I did everything.
I saw a picture, and we'll link it. We'll post it around here.
Pop it
we'll pop it up around here. But yeah.
So yeah, that was back in 2012. And then after that, I started just doing like little crafts for my neighbors and friends. So it was never my intention, because I had a full-time job. Like I was an orthodontic technician. So it was never really like a plan. You know, like I started doing this in 2020, like as a job full time, because the office I used to work for closed and I just needed an income.
Okay, yeah.
I was like, what can I do? What am I good at? And you know how you said like you started your page to, and then like you would play making cakes to build a portfolio. I already had a portfolio when I started my
Yeah.
page, like sin querer, you know, because I already had all those
You had
pictures.
this going on, yeah.
Because like my neighbors would ask me for selfie frames or belly corsages for like the pregnant girls, you know, for baby showers. So I would take pictures of everything. And in 2020, when I was like, I'm just gonna make, the plan was just to make a page to sell crafts, kind of like an Etsy. You know how you sell, like you offer your products and then like they're
Yeah.
customized, like by like, what do you call it, per order kind of thing. I was like, maybe if I post all this and like people see it, they'll like order, like customized orders. And then I think I had like maybe 2 or 3 pictures of like different little parties that I had made. And that's what I started getting booked for.
Okay.
Just parties. Like, oh, can you do this? Can you do, you know? And at that time, I didn't know how to do balloons. Like, I guess it just came with time. And then, no, when I started the business page, I already knew how to do balloons. Like, the balloons kind of before 2020. Since 2012 all the way to 2020, I would just do like my neighbors' parties. And that's how I started practicing balloons. And then in 2020, I did get hired by, I want to say she's a big balloon artist here in Colorado. She does a lot of like corporate events. And I feel like she taught me a lot of like the tricks and like how to make it like the easy stuff, you know, like, because I would do it the hard way instead of doing it the smarter way.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, so I learned a lot from her. And then when 2020 hit hard, like the, you know, the job started closing down. And so I wasn't getting any bookings from her. So then I decided to go on my own. Like, I'm like, you know what? Like, we have different, what do you call it? Like different customers, like different
interest or,
well, I don't even know. I know there's a word. Sorry. Like, I can't think right now. But like, she has like the corporate, like the big builds with balloons. Like, she builds dresses and things like that. I was doing little birthday parties and, you know, like baby showers, things like that. So, yeah, I just started. I built a page, I uploaded everything, and luckily I started getting booked. My neighbor was actually my first customer. My front door neighbor. She's like, can you do my daughter's birthday?
oh,
And I'll have that picture too. It's so wacky. I can't believe she paid me. And back then, when I first started, my prices they were way, way low. Like sometimes I go back to those messages because I know who my first customers were. And I was like, how was I charging that? That wasn't even covering, like, I was paying out of pocket
Yeah.
for their material. And
Yeah.
like, because whatever I was charging wasn't even covering like the whole material.
And I feel like that happens a lot when we first start.
Yeah.
It's like you learn as you go.
Yeah. And now it happens where I know other girls like doing the business balloon and stuff charge a lot. And I'm like, whoo, I could be charging that too.
Yeah.
And then there's others. I feel like there's levels, you know? And then there's others that charge what I used to charge when I first started. And I'm like, oh, like it makes it so hard because obviously you want to get the booking, but you want to make a profit. You don't want to like work for free. But then if you're too in the expensive price, then you know, you kind of know like your clients and stuff. And I know there's people that will pay you, but you don't want to make it not accessible either.
Yeah.
You know, like, because not everybody can afford those prices, and like they still want to party, like, you know. So I try to stay in the middle. Depends, you know, like I ask a lot of questions when I book. Like, I'm like,
you should.
tell me where, what time, like, because I don't want to just blurt out a price without even knowing.
Sometimes I feel like, for me, sometimes I'm like, okay, what day are you looking for? Like when the client reaches out and be like, okay, I want a cake, I have to ask the questions, you know. And sometimes I feel like, okay, this can be very overwhelming because it's a lot.
Yeah.
But you want all the details and you want to do it right.
Yeah, because
like
you
what
wanna
date,
quote
how
it
many
right.
servings, what do you have inspo, and do you want this and do you want that, do you want this cake has fondant, this cake doesn't, because they send me a whole bunch of inspo, and some cakes are very different from the other.
Yeah, and
So
you
I have to
give
quote them. I
Mm-hmm.
have to quote them on everything, ask all kinds of questions, name, ages, because it's usually like birthday parties.
Mm-hmm.
So like name, ages, colors, style, and it's a never ending
Yeah.
questionnaire.
Yeah, I feel like I'm the same way, but you learn as you go, because at the beginning I wanted to get the booking. They would send me like, oh, I have this party for this day. And I wouldn't ask questions. I'd be like, what's your inspo? And then they would give me the inspo. I'd be like, oh, $300. And
Without,
then without even asking how far, dude, one time I quote one, like 350. And it was like way the F out there. Like it was far. It was like an hour and 30-minute drive. And I had to pick up the same night. At midnight.
yeah,
I had to pick up at midnight.
that's the
And
struggles
I
where
was
you're
like,
like,
oh my, dude, after that one, I was like, I need to ask if it's same night pickup, because, girl, like, I had to drive. I left my house at 10:30 to be there at midnight picking up.
and it takes a while.
It
Because
takes a
believe it or not,
while.
it takes a while. How long did it take us to pick up the
The
Friendsgiving one?
Yeah, it's a lot of carrying. And then, like, I picked up, it took me like a good 30 minutes picking up, and then an hour and 30-minute drive back home. So after that, I'm like, it wasn't even worth
Yeah.
I mean, it was worth having like now I have this like
And
setup.
did you have to have a babysitter?
Well, no, I stayed with my husband. Stayed
So
home.
it was just you.
It was just me picking
That's
up.
even freakier. Like,
Yeah, I was scared.
you don't even know what goes on. Like,
No.
after, like, there's people staying after the party and they're drunk or
So now I
whatever.
ask all the questions. I don't even care if they get mad or, I'm like, no, I gotta know, because I gotta know what I need to charge you for.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I've been doing it for 12 years. Well, no, almost 12 years. But professionally as a business for almost 5 years.
Okay.
Also, I rebranded once in this time period since 2020, and I do myself. I feel like everybody that owns a business has the same goal, because like you're a baker, you want to have a
shop.
bakery shop, and I see myself either having a venue to where I can book it and decorate, or I see myself like with like a balloon warehouse supplier store.
Oh, that would be nice.
Like where I supply all the products that people in this industry use.
Imagine one up here. Is there anything up here north?
There used to be one, a little one, and then it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one in Denver, but
there's so much goals to accomplish. And I mean, we only have the years to come and make the best out of them.
yeah,
Because if we don't, life slips away.
like this past month did.
Almost 2.
Almost 2. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm sick. I've been sick for a little while. It's been like right now I'm not coughing that bad, but you can hear my voice.
It was worse a few weeks ago.
Yeah, it was bad. So yeah, if like I feel like we have to write down our goals and our like what we want to accomplish, because 2 months can slip away.
A lot of things happened. If you follow us on Instagram and on all our socials, we keep it up to date.
Yeah, we do those
with the stories, because with the post I'm behind on that.
Yeah,
but with stories we go as like day by day, what happens, what we're doing. So we're not going to get into that, but if you want to know a little bit more about us, feel free to follow us on Instagram, on TikTok, and Facebook. You have Facebook, right?
Yeah, I have Facebook. For It's a Party, I have Facebook and Instagram.
So go ahead and give us a follow on that, and just keep up with us.
Yeah, we're gonna be having some guests in our next episodes, and then I say we can make if you guys want to know like something specific about us, like more like the little questions we had at the beginning,
and answers.
About our industries, about our businesses. You can leave us
questions in the comments, and we'll get to your questions in a different episode.
Yeah, but we're gonna get to know our guest in the next few episodes. We just wanted to talk a little bit about your host in this video so that you guys get to know us and what we do, how long we've been doing it for.
And believe us, there's still so much more about us
that we can go into detail.
But I think for today, we did a good job. And for our next show, we're going to have a special guest.
Yay!
And it's Monica from Brand Club Media.
From what?
Brand Club Media.
You said Brack.
Brand Club Media.
She's the one that did our logo.
So she's a graphic designer and
photographer.
And yeah, she does a lot of amazing things. She has a big story to tell about her. She's pretty amazing. And I can't wait to have her here in our next episode.
So without further ado, we will see you next week. Thank you for being here and watching this whole video. Bye.
Thank you for watching. Remember to like,
subscribe,
follow us here, follow us on social media, and
my headphones are falling.
We hope you guys stay for long.
Yes, we'll link all of our social media so you guys can stay updated.
Okay. Toodaloo.
Peace.